Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Scott's Feed Shop. Jet Scott here as always. And today we're all about helping out our buddies, even if it leaves us down a vehicle. So if you guys don't know, I have a really great friend that I actually met thanks to YouTube. He started out as a viewer of mine who hung out with me one afternoon. He drove all the way from basically St. Louis, which is, you don't know, is almost 5 hours, four and a half basically. And he became a really good friend. We hang out, we play video games together, we stream a lot together, and if you don't know that, I got a treat for you. So, I don't do a lot of live streams on my channel, I just don't have time, at least during the day, and my internet's not the greatest, but I do go live a lot on my buddy Brian's channel, Dust Devil Garage. And he's an awesome dude, and he's actually building a duster for this No Name Nationals event. And this buddy of mine, Brian, had some unfortunate, unexpected events that nobody can control or solve or fix happened, where he was going to get a 440 for his duster, but he just wasn't able to make the drive to go get it, and it really sucks. I wish I could help him out more, but with that deal, so he could have the 440, he was actually going to put a big block in his duster he's building that he calls the Knuckle duster, and this thing's like full on 70s street freak cartoon radical. Tires sticking out the 15 by freaking 14. It's freaking 15 by 14 wheels in the back, and tires are sticking out of the wheel wells. It is freaking full on cartoon, and I love his car. And the dude's just one of the greatest friends I've ever had. And unfortunately, he had some unforeseen events that prevented him from going to get his engine. Things that he couldn't control, nobody could control. So he's unable to go pick up his engine. And I was just thinking to myself one night when we were talking, hey, I'm building a 340 with W2 heads for my duster, and I don't need the old 360 it's in it. It's got a healthy cam, it rock and rolls, it makes pretty good power for what it is, and I don't need it. It's just gonna go to crap laying around. And so it's like, you know what, dude, I'll hook you up. So that's actually what we're getting ready to do, is we're going to dismantle my 70 duster right there. And we're going to take this 360 out, and he'll actually be here this weekend with another great YouTube friend of mine. And if you saw the update video, there's a long lost vehicle from our finds and rescue. And our good friend is coming to pick that up this weekend, and we're going to be doing a bunch of work to it so he can drive it home to Tennessee. So I'm going to start tearing into this duster. We're going to rip her apart, and we're going to get her ready to go home to Brian. Oh God, can't get the hat on. So, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's take this bad girl apart. So I just want everybody to know how good of a friend Brian is, okay? Brian, I'm including this custom 7/16 wrench because it is the only way to do this far back header bolt, and we're talking about a half a turn at a time, and this guy is stiff. If you guys got a friend out there that you like enough that you'll go through this kind of torment, post them down in the comments.
Alrighty, so we got the pulleys off. That was fun. I got all the bolts on this side of the header off.
Except two.
except 2 because I had trouble with some strength issues on one of them. We got the power steering dismantled, and pretty much everything is good except for that one damn bolt.
Yeah, I'm still on it. If this job pays by the hour, God, I'm ready to retire. And I start picking out a mansion.
Because of that one bolt.
Because of this one freaking bolt. Ugh. I gotta suffer. He's my friend.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Been a long freaking day. Anna is helping. She likes the duster, so I told her when she gets off work, she'd come help me. So, Brian, you have ported heads, man. At least on this exhaust side, they actually look pretty dang clean. Of course, they've got so much carbon in them, you can't really tell what's going on, but decent work done to them. When we get the intake off, once it's out of the car, we'll see what the intakes look like. You're probably gonna definitely have a good engine for sure. If they ported the intakes, anything like they did the exhaust, they did a good job on those. But we got the gaskets off, all the bolts out. Some of these bolts were not great. They've been in the engine for a long time. Yeah, this one's actually starting to corrode away. No, focus on the bolt, not the engine. Come on, phone. I know it's been a long day for you too. Yeah. So hopefully it didn't pull the threads in the iron. I don't know. If it did, those were Anna's side. My side did not look like that.
That you know of. That one that you had so much trouble getting out, like, disappeared.
Yeah, no, I do know that most of mine look like this. They look like a bolt. So, if you got any stripped holes, Brian, you know who to blame.
Whatever.
Yeah. But, so now we just gotta wait for Dad at some point so we can pull the car in the air and slide the headers out the back. The exhaust system is off. It's over there in the scrap pile. Even though it's not scrap, but it's gonna sit over there. And then now I'm gonna start unhooking wires, probably get the distributor out of it, because that's not going with the engine, as Brian and I discussed. It stays with me for the 340. We'll get all the throttle stuff unhooked. Actually go and get the carburetor off, put a lift plate on there. Get the torque strap off. And yeah. And then it'll be starter, and then get the torque converter unbolted from the flex plate. And this thing should just whoop out, and we'll be good to go. Just a lot of bolts that have been in there for a long time fighting us. So back to work. Alrighty, fellas and not fellas, this is going to be the end of this day. Ann and I, we got most everything out. I'm going to go grab a spare distributor from my bucket of distributors and just plug that hole off. Alright, so a little progress update. Dad and I are just tossing working. Dad's here now, so duster, bumpers on the ground. Starter's finally out of this daggone thing, and I haven't filmed today at all. Yeah, got that little shield off. We're getting ready to take the torque converter off, get all that undone. These headers, they suck. They really, really suck. But we're pretty close. We had to take the entire steering off, which it needed to come off pretty bad because it's all junk. It all needs replaced. Well, the replaceable parts. Rubbers are all shot. Bolts were actually loose. Starter was actually loose for the most part. So we're gonna be getting this taken apart as soon as possible. Alrighty, so we should have all the bell housing bolts out of the automatic transmission because we don't want to mess with taking the column shift apart. At least I don't. So try and just slide the engine forward, pull it out. Did we ever get the rest of those motor mount bolts out?
I didn't know which one you.
Yeah, there's that one in the bottom, and I think I got the ones on that one. I don't know. There still might be one. I know there's one here. There might be one on the other side. But she should be ready to pluck here soon. We might hand it off till tomorrow to do that, or we might do it now. I don't know. So, stay tuned. to the man, the myth, the legend, right there. Couldn't do it without him. So this block is 10/16 of 88, if I read that right. It's not a 7, it's definitely an 8. Exhaust ports are ported, they're pretty nice. 90-degree oil adapter goes with the engine. B&M flex plate. I'll get the torque converter out for Brian. Yeah, he's getting a pretty nice engine. Yeah, it looks like they did the same thing I did. It looks like it was originally a black engine, and then they painted it orange where they wanted it to be orange. So, Dad, you remember when I was joking about if we just yanked the motor hard enough, I bet you the motor mounts would give up, they're so weak? Yeah. Come look at this.
There's some good ones.
It's
probably why I got that strap on there.
That strap was the only thing keeping it in good shape. Oh. May have forgot that one. That's freaking hilarious. Torque clean in half. It's laying down there. Okay. Yeah, it had the right torque converter. It's got a big weight on it, so.
I'll give him them for headers too.
Yeah, I told Brian he gets the headers too. I got TTIs for the 340 W2 engine. So, all right, I'll see you guys. I will see you guys when all my buddies are here and we get that engine loaded up in the back of, well, that thing right there. Not the satellite or the van, but there's another vehicle right there. We got a special friend coming from Tennessee with Brian, coming from Missouri, and we'll be working on that in the next video. But before we start working on that, we're going to show this engine off to Brian and our special guest from Tennessee. So, see you guys then. Alrighty, guys and gals, so I'm out here with Brian's 360 once he gets here and pays me. Got the intake off because we're putting the strip dominator on there, which is a awesome intake. That's the last LA one I got, but since I've not got any more LAs on the plan, except for the new 273, which will be a tunnel ram potentially. So that one's going, and plus Brian needs a single plane because he wants nitrous. So this block last night we found out was an 88, which Brian told me was a roller cam style engine. It was the first of the series. This is 10/16 of 88, so it would have been an 89 model year block. And as you can see, it has provisions to make it a roller cam engine. Freaking sweet. It is flat tappet right now, no issues with that. The ports have had some cleanup on them, some grinding. They're not massive by any means, but yeah. And then it's got the ductile iron 273 style rockers with the crane adjusters. See, all the adjusters are about the same. So Brian, you know you're getting one heck of a motor. So let's just grab Brian's new intake here and get that set down. Oh yeah, that's much better. That is 3,000 times better. Now Brian, you'll get to see this before. I was hoping maybe to make you wait until you saw the video, but of course you'll be here tomorrow. So, oh man, just look at that. That looks great. Man, I should put that intake on there a long time ago because I bet it's 10 times better than that RPM air gap. So, see you guys tomorrow when all my awesome friends are here. Alrighty guys, so we're here and we are welcomed by Brian, who is leaning over the duster staring at a 727. Short John, or Tall John, whatever you want to call him. And of course, my brother. So we're all sitting out here, we're hanging out, and I told you guys that we'd be calling this a video when everybody was here. Well, everybody's here. So Brian seems to be pretty happy with his engines, his purchase. Brian, you got to crawl in there and rip that torque converter out still.
I will.
Yeah.
The duster's not happy though.
I don't care. It's getting a 340. It'll be much happier with a
It
340.
will be happier, but right now it's like, what the fuck you doing?
Yeah, I know, but look at the firewall though. Look at that F4.
Did you have to unbolt that gearbox?
Which gear? What are we talking about?
The steering gearbox.
No.
Well, how come that nut's halfway off? That bolt's halfway out.
Because half the bolts, actually I found when we were taking the engine out, were loose. The bell housing bolts were all finger tight. Luckily the torque converter bolts were tight.
Well, you'd have heard it if it wasn't, you thought it had a rod knock.
Yeah, and the, well, in that one motor mount, it kind of had a bad day.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah. But I'll be cleaning up this engine bay, probably painting it up pretty nice, getting it all cleaned up, ready to go.
You paint it green again?
I'm going to probably paint it F8. I'm not a huge fan of this. I think this is F4. I can't remember if this is F4 or not. EF8, F8. F4. Yeah, it's F8 interior, F4 exterior. So, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the lighter green. When it's brand new, it's beautiful. But when it ages like, well,
Poop.
yeah, ages like my girlfriend. 28 years old.
I didn't say that about you, Hannah.
Guilty upon association.
I said poop about the paint. Not, I didn't know he was going to throw that part in there.
Okay, one notice about this car.
Yeah.
It is missing its front sway bar.
Yeah, I know.
All 340 cars came with that.
Yeah, it's on the lower control arms. They must took it off for the drag racing they did in it. I would like to put that back on. Because I know I'm not taking it off Jezebel. It's got the front sway bar, and it's a 318 car. Yeah, I need to get that for this. I noticed that when I was taking all the steering suspension off, the lower control arms have the bushings or the brackets. And I need to probably check out those lower control arm bushings and see how they are and replace those if they need replacing.
See the size of that transmission cooler?
Yeah.
The line on that? Look at that.
It's a lot better than using the one in the radiator, I'd say.
And see, it's skinny coming in, so it gets that big tube and it slows it down, makes it travel very slow through there.
Yeah, I'm pretty good with it.
Allow that heat out.
I don't want to start a debate on your video, but I'm going to. I always thought you should run it through the radiator and then through a transmission cooler and then back into the transmission.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
I've always run it through here first to knock as much temp out, then go to the radiator and then back.
But with the radiator, you're picking up heat off of the water temperature.
That's what I've always thought too.
That's okay because the transmission doesn't like a lot of heat, but it does like some heat.
Well, yeah, I guess you don't want the ATF to be too cold.
Right.
Yeah, it's got to be like that right temperature. Makes sense.
So it cuts the edge off. If you put it into the radiator first, it would get all the brunt of the heat before it came to here.
And then it would be all fresh air there, and
Knock it down a little bit more, but see if you get the grunt of it out here, then put it in the radiator here.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, they just had that. They never had anything on the radiator. I'm not using that radiator. It's so caked in sludge. I'm gonna get one of those aluminum units like what's in Jezebel. That looks factory.
I think my truck needs one.
I think my
By
duster
the time
needs
I
one.
leave, there won't be anything left at Scott's Speed Shop. I'll have it loaded up.
So,
you and me.
Yeah.
but yeah, we didn't want to pull the transmission out because of all that. Look at all that linkage for the steering column. I was afraid of messing that shit up.
That's why he's put a floor shifter in it. But
No, that column shifter is the coolest thing about this car, Brian. Don't you dare. I'll keep that torque converter. You haven't paid me yet. Wait, he hasn't paid me at all yet.
Hey, is there a 360 for sale around here?
Yeah.
What do you want for it?
$20.
Sweet.
And a kiss on the lips to Brian.
No,
You catch him and you can put a kiss on his lips, you can have the engine.
no.
He's not going to do it because I'm taking his engine.
Well, you just got to hold him down. I think that might be kind of interesting. The cops get called.
Can we do it in the grass?
Oh yeah, it's just wherever you tackle him.
I've never seen Brian like this
I can't
before. Look at
run.
it. He won't even look up.
I can't run. I'm too old
God.
and fat to run.
I just imagine the cops getting called. There's some tall guy from Tennessee trying to molest short guy.
He's originally, I think, from California. We'll be there in a second.
Yeah, that makes sense. As always, guys, just want to thank you, and thank you to my dad for helping. And thank you to all the cool people here. Tall John's Fun Shop on YouTube. Brian at Dust Devil. My brother doesn't have a YouTube channel, but he's a regular guest.
He's going to get one.
Eventually, maybe. Hopefully. We'll talk him into it. He does a lot of truck stuff.
Yeah.
So, we got Brian hooked up. We're all going to the No Name Nationals as friends to hang out and do a little bit of racing. So, always, guys, look forward to seeing the next one. As always, take care and
Bye-bye.
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 Okay.